Hello and welcome to Young Turks, India's longest running show on entrepreneurship and startups. I'm Shruti Mishra. I'm at the Bombay Stock Exchange to get you all the action from Fintegrate Zone Fintech Thought Leadership Conclave 2017. Demonetization has given a major boost to the fintech sector, and this conclave focuses on the future of fintech within India and globally. With over 85 speakers, 1,000 plus attendees that include startup founders, investors, fintech experts and international delegates from Canada, France, Australia, UK and Southeast Asia, the conclave not only highlights companies and technologies that are driving change in the banking and financial services industry, but is also showcasing innovations. Take a look. A three-day thought leadership conclave created by Zone startups with an aim to integrate the fintech innovation ecosystem in India. The inaugural edition of Fintegrate Zone conclave saw a combination of conference tracks, workshops, buildathon, startup exhibits, investor pitches and a grand demo day.
As far as India goes, I think in terms of fintech conferences or conventions, this is first of its kind where each of the day has been demarcated in such a way that the stakeholders are going to have a very tangible kind of a takeaway, and that is something that we want to do year on year.
The highlight of the three-day conclave was the face-off between angels and VCs. Now let me start by asking a very simple question. Who owns the unicorns? Who gets the credit? The angels who bet on the idea, or the VCs who bet on the business? Sandeep.
I think the entrepreneur owns the unicorn, neither the angels nor the VCs.
That's a safe answer.
For me, I'm happy VCs owning the unicorns. Give me an exit.
So we know who gets the credit, but who takes responsibility of what goes wrong?
When you're on a journey and you choose to partner with someone on a journey, I think you have to take collective responsibility. And, it's not that we were sort of, just sitting there and saying, no, do whatever you want to do. We were giving our inputs as well.
I was going to ask you that, we know what's happening at Snapdeal, them cutting costs, Tezilla suspending operations. There have been a lot of critics saying that, who are blaming the VCs that they did not put them in the right direction. How do you react to this criticism?
I don't think that VCs put entrepreneurs in the wrong direction or the right direction. We all have viewpoints that we share in board meetings and so on. The entrepreneur ultimately takes the call. And, I think that's the critical thing, that you want to back people who are, taking their responsibility. And we are there as advisors and facilitators.
See, I think let's not ignore the role of the board here, right? So if I have an angel investor, I'm on the board, I have a responsibility.
Sure.
If I get bumped off the board, I still have my money there. And I expect the VCs who are on the board to play a very significant role. And what for me is that I don't expect the VC to be a backseat driver, but beyond capital, the job of the board is to make sure the founder doesn't make any fatal mistakes. I think it's fair and easy to say it's the entrepreneur's decision, but that entrepreneur may be 25 years old and you have 25 years of experience.
Yes.
So the way I look at it, at least in all my board positions, my job is capital connections and making sure no fatal mistakes as much as possible.
What is the biggest pet peeve VCs have with angels and vice versa?
So when people work with the companies to actually nurture them, spend time with them, that is what should be, not just a normal angel. But when we tend to find good angels, I think we are a lot more comfortable that a lot of stuff has been. Only sometimes what happens is some people tend to focus more on valuation and just getting that next round and exit in some form. But that's what it is typically.
All right, Sandeep.
I think Pranav brings up the point that angels' expectation on an exit at the time of a VC round, I think is a wrong expectation. From a standpoint of risk-taking, it's important to sort of see the journey the way through, right?
Sure.
And particularly with value-added angels, I actually want them to stay on.
Okay.
And don't want them to exit. And they're sitting on the other side. No, I want to get out of this one so I can do the next. So
is that the case? Because we always thought it the other way around.
I have never asked an angel sort of who I thought could add value to leave the company.
I have seen across many deals where VCs push us out. They want to bump us saying that, get out of the cap table. Majority of them don't want to give us rights and not giving us equal footage into the company.
So, Sanjay, let me just respond to that. I think the problem is that, we haven't seen angels emerge which are taking large position in companies and really nurturing the company the way you're describing, right? So what we have seen is there'll be 10 angels in a deal. You know, the way that the angel ecosystem has developed through this clubbing effect has become a problem, right? So you end up in a situation where you are sitting there and you're saying, how will this company work going forward with 10 people on the cap table, or in some cases we've seen 30 people on a cap table, right? And we've actually been in situations where companies have not been able to raise capital because some angel is sitting there and saying, I don't agree with the terms, I'm not going to sign.
No, even so VC is saying that there are 2 or 3 VCs coming into a round saying that our minimum requirement is 15%, 20%. And because 2 VCs are there, now let's bump up the angels. Right? You want to
now you have a real face-off, right?
Now it is getting I'm telling you guys push us out. So idea is when 2 VCs get together, they say we'll do the round if angels go out.
Vikram, do you agree with what Sanjay is saying?
I've seen both sides.
Okay.
See, nobody can force me to sell, first of all. There is no legal right I will ever give in any SHA that forces you to, allows me to, have no discretion. Number 2, I do agree with Sanjay that every time there is a VC involved, I have to fight for my rights. Somehow the VCs tend to think their money is more green than mine. Then, for some reason. They want more liquidation rights, they want the drag-along rights, they want all the rights, but they don't want to give me that right. And many times the person I'm dealing with, I know that I have a far better track record. I've built companies, sold them. And I don't think any reason why you should think you're more qualified than I am.
Sure.
So there is a bit of bullying that happens. But I think you have to learn to live with it because we can't live without the VCs anyways.
Angels are considered to be mentors. They build the first network for the startup. In fact, they even help them raise venture capital. On the other hand, VCs are considered to be, suited, cutthroat businessmen. Is that the role of a VC in a startup industry that's just 10 to 15 years old?
No, not necessarily. I think for us, because of at least in the early stage investing that we do, I think we take pretty much a similar approach, because while there may be a product market fit to a certain extent, like you rightly said, things keep on changing. Thing is, you have to understand business. I think, a lot of people here sitting here have run businesses, understand the business. It's not pure just investing. It's really understanding the business, understanding the psyche of a person, how they think. So I don't think it is just cutthroat what is being described.
So my next question, I'm sure a lot of startups sitting here would want to know. Sanjay, tell us, how should startup founders balance VC and angel interest?
One biggest advantage what entrepreneurs has when they have angels around is this is one guy who has seen various ups and downs, how things are working, their next raise. So it's like a sounding board. So many times if they are in doubt, so I had one of the portfolio company where founder is right now at Series B, and at every point in time his interaction with VCs are more transactional, whereas with us it becomes relational, because we as an angels are emotionally invested also.
On that note, it's time for a short break, but when we return, we bring you a power-packed panel that discusses the role of technology in the insurance sector.